News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Chris Krok Show. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. This is the time for you and I to gather around and make predictions. It has gone to the jury in the Hunter Biden trial. It's amazing, isn't it? How quick this is and this was. So I don't have any faith. I don't. The reason why I don't have any faith is because this is a state that the Bidens own. This is an area the Bidens own. The state of Delaware has voted for him every time for like 50 years, you know. So I don't have any faith. You also have it's a disease. He can't help it. It's not his fault. The crack came to his mouth. The crack pipe came to his mouth. He didn't go get it. It forced him to go buy it. Can I ask you a question, as Dwayne would say? A question. If you are, I don't think it matters about the drug addiction, whether it be alcohol, crack, cocaine. It doesn't matter. If you are addicted, you can call addiction a disease. I do believe it is, as far as alcoholism. You can call addiction in general a disease. I'm not going to argue about that. But here's the thing. If you are intoxicated, you could be high in crack, you could be high in cocaine, you could be, crack, cocaine is similar to cocaine, but nonetheless, you could be drunk, you could be on heroin, doesn't matter. If you drive and kill somebody, does that disease defense work for you? If somebody says, hey, it's a disease. Oh, my gosh. He can't help it. Oh, look at him. He's helpless. Look at all this horrible stuff they've played. Clearly, this is a disease. Give him a break, this poor guy. He's paid enough. How about if somebody is, dare I say, it happens at rape, sexual assault while drunk or high. It's a disease. He didn't know what he was doing. He regrets it completely, but he doesn't remember any of it, and that kind of stuff, right? Or if somebody holds up a bank while they're high on any of these drugs or drunk, they hold up a bank and then it goes south and they shoot and kill somebody. Would that excuse work with you as well? And so what I'm saying here is if the excuse of addiction works for you for buying a gun, lying on a federal form, if it works there, why wouldn't it work for, what's the difference? And why wouldn't it work for rape, sexual assault, murder, drunken driving, killing somebody while drunken driving, which is, that's, you might as well have shot him. It's Russian roulette is the best term I've ever heard for drunken driving. You're shooting all over the highway, hoping you don't hit anybody. Same thing. So, and then the other thing is, which way do you think they're going to rule? Which way do you think this jury is going to rule? I think it's going to be 1 to all 8 of them saying, or 12 of them saying, you know what? He's paid enough. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. Let the guy go. We love the Bidens. Not a Dr. Jill with her flaming color suits and her front. Did you know she was in the front row? Hello, it's me. Hey, can you see me? I'm right here. I'm about 15 feet. Do you see me? I was saying, like, the last day of the court trial, she's got a big flare. Remember from Office Space, the buttons all over the place from Jennifer Aniston at the restaurant? Flare, a big flare, and a big like a neon sign. First lady, first lady, first lady. Biden, Jill, Biden. All right. 800. I have 2 questions. Which way do you think the jury's going to rule? I don't think they're going to find him guilty. If they do, I think they're going to find not recommend anything for him, or if they do the sentencing, I don't know if the judge does or they do. And then which way would you rule if you were on this jury? Okay, which way do you think the jury's going to rule? Which way would you rule? And what kind of punishment would you believe is appropriate for this if he's found guilty? Hunter, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Which way do you think the jury's going to rule tomorrow? A lot of people are basically everybody's saying tomorrow. It's not a complex, difficult case. unless you have trouble understanding that, hey, I'm meeting Mookie over here at the corner of this and that by 7-Eleven, and hey, I'm high. I passed out on high on crack in my car, and it's like the day before he's texting and saying these things, and the day afterwards. But here's what's so funny about this: the day of. This was their defense. This is so awesome. This is such a riot. It's comical. It could be a Saturday Night Live skit, right? The day of the offense, he was not high or drugged or drunk. And so on that day, he was not an addict. He truthfully believed on the day that he was filling out the form that he was not an addict. Now, before this and after this, including a day or two before and a day before and a day afterwards, right around there, there's evidence from the federal government from his laptop that has been confirmed from them, and they confirmed it's official, that he's texting these things about getting drugs, being high, etc. So, he literally wants you to believe, the defense wants you to believe that literally one day of being sober, allegedly, if you believe him. Now, remember his former baby mama or ex-girlfriend, one of the two, testified that he was so high on crack, he would smoke literally a golf ball size of crack. I'm still marveling at the golf ball size of crack. I'm still thinking about, what's his name, Chappelle, and his great skit with Tyrone, is it Bigham or something? The guy who smoked crack, he got the powder around his lips and he would scratch himself, and he had a bowling ball size rock. I didn't know that until one of our listeners pointed it out. Anyway, yeah, what kind of, so my point being is, you literally, his defense is, look, for that one day I was sober, and I was truthfully answering, I'm not an addict today. I was yesterday, I am tomorrow. I've been to rehab 10 times over my life. Bill in Garland, you've called in at 800-288-WBAP. Bill, you're on 820 AM and 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello, Bill. Bill?
Yeah.
Hi. Go ahead, sir.
Well, he's not going to be convicted. He's got huge problems, but it's in Delaware. There's no way in the world they're going to convict him. Now he's got a big problem out in California with his tax problems, but he's going to walk big time.
He's going to walk what?
He's going to walk. They're not going to convict him. There's no way.
So you think the jury, and why do you think the jury's not going to convict him?
Well, because he owns Delaware. I mean, he and his family, and you got Jill and his ex-wife, and his, all these people that are staring at the jury, and most of the jury has people that have been on drugs and been arrested and so they're going to have sympathy in that area. I don't think a lot of people have said that. What if
they have? But let me ask you this: what if they think, no, my kid was on drugs or my uncle was on drugs and he went to prison?
Yeah, well, like I say,
but I'm going to give Hunter a pass, even though my brother, cousin, or uncle went to jail. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, they own Delaware.
They do. There's federal buildings. There's courthouses, federal buildings, not this one, but others that are named after Joe Biden. There's streets that are named after Joe Biden. I don't know what the stats are. I'll pull them for you. I'm going to guess he wins 60 to 70% of the vote every time he's up for election for anything, including dog catcher or
dog catcher. Yeah.
I don't care what he's up for. He's going to win it by 70 or 80% is my guess. And if you don't vote for him, don't you think there's a serious fear that there'd be repercussions, especially since he's a dirty birdie and everybody knows it. You dirty birdie, he's a dirty birdie, you know it.
Well, he's a creep. He's abused, prostitutes. They have it on the computer, his laptop.
You're talking about Hunter, not Joe, obviously. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. But he's been abusing women for years. And, he won't acknowledge that he has a baby with a woman down in Arkansas.
He did. This testifies to his character. He did, but only after his baby mama refused or said, I will lower the monthly child payment of $20,000 a month. I will lower it to around $5,000 or just below that if you will have a relationship with her.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
He was forced into it by his economic necessity, into acknowledging it, and then only after that agreement was made did not a Dr. Jill and Joe finally acknowledge that literally is their granddaughter. It's shocking and it's sad. It's very sad. It's very sad, and nobody has defended that. And the stockings were up around the fireplace, and it was everybody, even the dogs, but not little Navy London, which is just
let's put it
disturbing.
This way, Chris.
Yeah.
everybody know he's a creep, and that's final.
Well, yes, but that's not the conviction. But I do appreciate your call. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. 3 lines open, J.D. in Dallas. And then we'll get to your call as well coming up next. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Now, when you hear James Comer, House Oversight Chairman, saying that for Hunter and Jim Biden, the criminal referrals are just beginning, I'll explain what they're going after. Second of all, was it a good decision to not allow Hunter to testify? I'll tell you what I think and what some of the experts think. All that is next, plus your call, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. And not a Dr. Jill. How much of those back and forth flights so she could sit in the front row of the courtroom and stare down the jurors? How much did that cost us? That's next.
The President of the United States has removed himself from this explicitly, consistently, honorably, and lets the rule of law unfold. Put yourself for a nanosecond in the position of a parent of a child going through what Hunter's going through. Difficult, complicated, painful.
I was, happy to see when the president was asked about this, he'll have confidence in the judicial system. He's not going to undermine it.
This is sheer heroism. His son, Joe, is a hero. Hunter is a hero. This is amazing. He should be getting an award, a major award. A major award, like in it's a Christmas Story or whatever. A Christmas Story. It's an award. It's a major award. All right. By the way, Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends joins us in about 12 minutes on the Chris Krok Show. Brian's awesome. I just actually was hanging out with him and one of his assistants in New York when I was there, and we had a nice little chat. It was fun, and I was asked would I have him on. I'm like, of course I'd have him on whether he's coming here or not. He's coming here for a big day tomorrow with KLIF, WBAP, but also with Fox and Friends. I'll tell you all about that coming up next with Brian Kilmeade at 8:30. Do not miss that. He's always a ball of energy and awesome. Okay? Meantime, twofold. Which way do you think the jury will rule now that they have been deliberating a little bit? And which way would you rule if you were on the jury for Hunter Biden? And what kind of punishment would you like to see Hunter face? I think he should get some jail time. Doesn't have to be a lot. I'm hearing that he very well may not get any if he's convicted. I don't think he's going to be convicted. And you know what, though? I think... And I guess I'll put this out there too. How do you think it'll affect the race, the political race, if Hunter's found innocent? I think it'll be great for Trump. I mean, people go, oh my gosh, a case that had no business going to trial, convicted for Trump, and this guy gets off. I think it'll be amazing. I think it's going to really help Trump. I do, but maybe not. What do I know? JD, he knows a lot more than I do probably. He's called in, by the way. Our number is 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. It's Chris Krok on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. JD, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Actually, Hunter does deserve a major award because now that his laptop has been proven to be genuine, it shows the corruption of his dad, Biden.
Wait, his dad, Bo Biden? No, Bo Biden's not with us anymore for a long.
No, not Bo. I said Biden because he's following Obama's orders.
Oh, okay. Biden.
That's what I call him.
I see. I'm so sorry. I thought you said Bo Biden. No. You know what it is? I'm hard of hearing, and my hearing aids are from Connect Hearing. My phonic hearing aids, but they're not in. I have to wear I can't wear them while I have my headphones on, so I can't hear half of anything you say. I just try to sound smart. Go ahead. Yes. Just kidding.
Okay, not a problem. No, because now that the laptop has been proven genuine, 10% going to the big guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's the big guy? It's obvious. I mean, it's totally obvious.
Yeah.
Totally obvious.
That right there should be winning Trump the election if anybody's honest in the Democratic Party.
Well, the polls all show that it would have helped. It would have hurt Joe Biden by 17%. People said they would have reconsidered their vote if they knew the laptop was real, but it was too late. And it worked perfectly. It's just like this with a conviction on Trump. It's going to work perfectly, possibly. Man, I hear stuff that makes me flash like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose again by a moderate margin based on stuff. But we don't know anything. anything. We do not know anything until it happens. So we'll see how this plays out, brother. I appreciate your great call. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open for you. Which way do you think they'll rule, the jury, and which way would you rule? And what kind of punishment would you like to see for Hunter? 800-288-WBAP. Not a Dr. Jill. 3,600 mile round trip, so 3,600 mile round trip from France to Delaware to spend 2 days at Hunter's trial could cost $345,000. Taxpayers could be on hook for a huge bill. National Taxpayers Union Foundation estimated traveling separate from her husband, which she did not have to do at all, but she did this so she could sit in the front row every day. Honestly, nobody belittles anybody for the family going there, but the fact is, if you want to go there, you shouldn't be flying back and forth every day on our dime. And so the political party, Democrats, are going to repay the government what it would cost for her to fly commercially. And by the way, they talk about first class. They're not going to pay for first class. They're going to pay for coach, but she wouldn't fly coach. All right, Laura in Richardson, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. If I hadn't lived in Wilmington, Delaware for a few years, I think that I would say that he is absolutely going to be found guilty. Having lived there.
Yeah, you lived there for a few years? Oh, my gosh. Go.
Yes.
Wow.
I gave birth to my 2 girls there.
And you named them Haley, Biden, and then whatever your last name is.
Right.
Okay.
Right. No, we left and weren't sad about leaving and have no intention of going back there.
So based on the fact that you've lived there, what do you think then?
I think they are not going to find him guilty.
Right, because they own that town and that area and that state. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, thank you very much for a great call. And did you live in Wilmington?
Yes.
Small city, like 70,000 people. There's like no big city there.
Yep.
All
no.
Right. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you very banking capital, right? All the bankers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you, Laura. There's the rich and the poor. There's the Mookies selling the crack, and then there's the Hunters and his father. I don't know. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Well, here he is, the great Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12. No. His new show on KLIF is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. News and information, 570 KLIF, my old station right across the hallway from me. Brian, of course, the co-host of Fox News Channel's Fox and Friends. And Brian, a voluminous author and very successful author as well. Brian, how are you, my friend? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'll be in town tomorrow, so I look forward to seeing everyone in Dallas.
Yeah, we're very excited about you coming tomorrow. Everybody is pumped about this. So, Brian, you'll be here tomorrow we got 2 things. Fox and Friends is in the morning tomorrow, too, right, at QB's?
Yeah, we're going to go Wednesday. I'm going to do
Wednesday.
my normal
I'm sorry.
show,
okay.
Right, both shows, and then what we do is we hit the road. And I'll be tomorrow night. We have an event, and then Wednesday I'll be doing Fox and Friends, and then doing the radio show too. So
let me give everybody the details. Okay, so Brian's going to be tomorrow. This is a great event with WBAP and KLIF both. It's the Ranch. He'll be at the Ranch in Las Colinas tomorrow, presented by Viascan of Las Colinas from 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, June 11th. Capacity is limited, so make sure to arrive early. Also, Brian hosting Fox and Friends from QB's, I hope that's pronounced right, from 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. And QB's is at 6601 Snyder Plaza, Dallas, 75205. I understand it has some wicked barbecue sauces, which I would love to have.
Yeah, so we're going to be live. We're going to be working the crowd as well. So if you want to be on TV, we'll have something to say. We're going to try to get to a lot of people. Darryl Johnson among the guests we're going to be have coming down. Nice. As you know, he lives in the area. He's also vice president of the UFL.
Yes.
And then we're also, obviously talk about this Cowboys. He's also on the top teams, one of the top teams for Fox. And we got a bunch of guests coming down. I think Alan West will be there.
Nice.
So, yeah, it'll be good. I mean, we're looking forward to coming down. Just honored to be on your station, your sister station, KLIF.
Absolutely.
And privileged to be in Texas. So, we've been doing this for 14 years. We're on locally, like in WABC. They hear us in New York. They hear us in 200 stations. But I've never been on Dallas before, so we've been thrilled to get a chance to interact with your audience.
Yes, and it's a great show. I know that for a fact. I've listened to it many times. So, Brian, can I ask you a few questions also about the news, the latest in the news, if you don't mind?
Great, let's do it.
By the way, it was a pleasure meeting you in person. You and your right-hand person there.
Allison?
Yes, she was very awesome. And met you in person, had a great time chatting with you for a minute. It was wonderful to see you in New York. You're all over the place, brother, and I love that. So, Hunter Biden trial.
Yeah.
Tell me what surprises that you kind of saw today, if any, and what do you actually, if you're willing to be Svengali and do a verdict prediction on the outcome?
Can't do it because I don't know this juror. Just like with the former president of the United States, coming up on July 11th will probably be one of the biggest days outside Election Day. People think it's going to be the debate. I think it's going to be July 11th, actually. But with Hunter Biden, I mean, you have a situation where he's dead to rights. Abby Lowell, this legendary attorney, tried 3 or 4 different things. They all failed spectacularly. Why? Because Hunter Biden dropped his laptop off 5 years ago to get it fixed. And then it was picked up by that laptop, by the owner, gave it to the FBI. They sat on it for years, and now it's destroying his whole defense. Well, like it should have destroyed his dad's run for the Oval Office, but I digress.
Right.
Now we have a situation where he's texting that he's using crack. We have video of his former girlfriend, who was Beau Biden's wife, his brother, throwing the gun out into the dumpster. So the whole story, it's got video, it's got text messages, it's got play-by-play, it's got his drug dealer named Mookie. So anybody
can't make this up.
Doing drugs, you can't
make this up.
Right.
So I don't see, and I'm not. You can respond. You can down. I don't see how they're going to convict him because they're going to do. I think the jury nullification. Oh, he's paid enough. He's a Biden. We all vote for him. Most of us, etc. I haven't done the numbers on the Biden voting from that great state of Delaware, but I'm going to guess it's like 60-70%. So I just can't imagine one person wanting to, be the one person and deal the wrath of that. But
and the whole family sitting in the front row. Yeah, First Lady staring at him. Jim Biden, looks exactly like Joe, just staring at this jury. And they probably know everybody.
Yes.
They own Delaware. It's a tiny state.
Yes. Hello, I feel like not a Dr. Jill sitting in the front. Hello, it's me. Hello. It's wearing that flare like from Office Space where it says First Lady. It's flashing on her shirt. And wearing that neon colored suits and everything. My gosh.
Yeah. And by the way, look what she's doing. She's so worried about the environment, flying back and forth from France 3 times, and now she's going back again. And Joe Biden flies back for 3 or 4 days, does nothing, goes right to his house.
Yep.
Not even to the White House. Like, we don't have enough going on. After that hostage rescue over the weekend, you don't think he should be back in the Oval Office. But if he can't do the job, he shouldn't even run for it. But having said that, this is what's going to happen. This is what people are saying, and I get it. All right, he obviously is doing crack. People all have somebody in their lives who is addicted. Sure. Maybe it's them. So, and they do horrible things, one horror story next to the next, but he came out of it. And it's a gun charge. Who, if you're on crack and you go to buy a gun, who would ever check yes to, I'm addicted to drugs? Okay, fine. But just keep in mind why we're at this place. We're at this place because David Weiss, who was appointed by Donald Trump, on the recommendation of the Democratic senators from that state, sat on these charges until the statute of limitations went up on the Foreign Agents Act. So when he was doing these international deals, he never registered. That's what got Paul Manafort put into solitary confinement. And that's when that ran out. They just said, okay, what's left? And they go, these gun charges. Well, let's see them. Well, here's a sweetheart deal. Just promise not to use the gun again. He goes, okay. And they go, this is the worst. This deal is not legal. We're going to blow this up because who cut this deal? So that happened a year ago, and now we're at a trial, which was an open court layup for any prosecution. Yes. So that's why we're here. It's not targeting Hunter Biden, and it's only because of what he has done internationally that led to this investigation that ended up with the gun charges, because the gun charges didn't expire. It isn't picking on an addict.
Right. Exactly. Brian, what do you think about those 51 former intelligence officials doubling down again? I mean, shouldn't they have their clearances stripped from them? I mean, this is unbelievable.
Clapper was asked over the weekend. He's over the weekend. Do you regret that vote? He goes, no. What do you mean you regret it? You would just, the laptop was real. You knew it was real. You're the worst because you were right there.
Right.
You were actually had a job right there. It's not even like that retired. You're a commentator on CNN. So you knew it wasn't Russian information. You signed off on it and you have no regrets. All 51, including so disappointing Leon Panetta, for him to sign off on it. And the thing is, you know what happened. Mike Morrell told you under oath, former assistant deputy CIA director. I heard this. I got a call from Anthony Blinken.
Yep, Tony Blinken.
He said, can you round up 51 people to say this is classic Russian disinformation? They go, fine, we just need it for the debate.
Yep.
If that isn't election interference, what is?
Absolutely, election rigging. Two more quick questions before we let you go, Brian. The fall election, any prediction on that? Do you think Trump's going to get a bump or go down after this conviction? I know some people are saying it'll be a few weeks to see it pan out. And what about the Supreme Court and getting involved?
I don't see the Supreme Court getting involved. This is what I think. I know I don't know because you can't predict a jury.
Right.
It's not like the Mavericks game. I really predict the Mavericks going to win Game 3, but because I watched the first two games,
we all hope,
and that's educated. So I'm not educated on the jury, and I can't. But I will say this: I think the country is rallying behind the former president. I think the thing that he's running on, bring common sense back, not conservatism, not Republicans, bring common sense back.
Yes.
Everything we're asking is not ideological. It's not let's change. Let's just go back to using common sense. I love it. So if he could just, and he is staying inside the lines,
right? Don't
do anything crazy,
right,
which he hasn't in a while.
Right.
He hasn't overreacted to this. I think he's actually having a really good time.
Yes.
I mean, do you listen to his speeches?
Yes.
He's actually giving advice to people about success in life.
Yes.
That's the Donald Trump pre-apprentice.
Yes. Okay, one more question. Do you think they're going to replace Biden if the polls keep going this way? I don't think he'll ever step down. Your thoughts?
Barring a fall or an episode, the Mitch McConnell I'm frozen episode.
Yes.
Barring one of those, I don't see him doing it. But if he freezes at the debate, they might just strong arm him. But you just don't. The other thing people tell me is if you're in the White House,
yes,
that's your party.
Yes.
You can't get them out.
No, that's what I'm thinking. He's not going to give away the keys. I think he loves it. His ego is too big, and not a Dr. Jill loves. I mean, she loves that. Being there and kind of being in charge.
Yeah, look, she knows when they ran for office, they were going to expose all these deals. They knew it was going to expose his son, and they still ran. Not only did they run the first time, but they ran the second time. So these people are not as they're billed. They're not normal. They're not typical. They're not a return to traditional politics. They're being exposed right now, and they can't hold the leaky lifeboat together anymore. There's too many holes.
I agree.
And Donald Trump is not going to make it easy by doing things that are illogical and they're trying to pick things out of his speech and talk about retribution, and that's not what he said, and we know what he means.
Right.
He's not running from NATO. He's telling them they got to prepare their own defense. We'll be there, but you have to do your fair share. So we're not falling for the cartoon version of Joe Biden's opponent anymore. We're going to make our own decision. We don't need David Axelrod's ads, even though he's not working for him. We don't have to worry about what they say. We're all making our own decision. And that border, to me, that border in Afghanistan, right there, it's done. Verdict in. I would never vote for somebody, including a Republican, that did what he did.
Yeah. Brian Kilmeade, Fox News, at the ranch in Las Colinas tomorrow night, presented by Viascan of Las Colinas, 6 to 8 p.m., Tuesday, June 11th. Tomorrow, capacity is limited. Get there early for this amazing event. And then also, Brian is hosting Fox and Friends from QB's 5 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. He's here for 2 days, y'all, at QB's 6601 Snyder Plaza, Dallas, Texas, 75205. Thank you, Brian. It's been a blast, my friend, okay?
Same here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye. All right, coming up next. I thought I was done. No, I got to tell you what's coming up next. Texas rolling blackouts. This literally came across the wire this evening. Ready? ERCOT has a message for possible rolling blackouts this summer. Alert, alert, alert. We're going to get to that coming up next. And if you have more Hunter Biden reaction, okay, there's lots that want to talk about that. We'll do that first. All right, all that next, y'all, on 800-288-WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Okay, in just a moment, we're going to get to the Texas possible rolling blackouts this summer. Brand new news that broke this evening. But first, this is News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We want to get to continuing on with the Hunter Biden stuff. Do you think they're going to find him guilty? What would you convict if you were on that jury? What kind of punishment do you think he deserves? 800-288-WBAP. I don't think he's going to be convicted. I think they're going to say, oh, you poor sweetheart. Oh, come here. Show us on this dollar where Donald Trump hurt you. It's a disease. We vote for your dad. Producer Garrett, would you do me a favor and look up the last election, what the percentage was for Delaware residents voting for Biden? Like what the vote count was for Trump Biden in 2020? I'm gonna bet it was 60% or 70% for Biden, maybe even higher. I'll say between 60 and 72%. Meantime, let's take your call, 800-288-WBAP on the Hunter Biden case. The jury's deliberating right now. They'll probably rule with the verdict tomorrow, sometime in, I'm going to guess, a few hours based on my limited knowledge. And they're gonna do jury nullification. Well, we know he broke the law, but we're gonna let him off. This is a real justice right here. He's diseased. What if he had killed somebody or raped somebody or drunken driving and hit and killed somebody? I mean, is that not his fault too because it's disease? I mean, this was a knowingly false statement on a federal form. Yes, Producer Garrett. Shock. 59% for Biden. What did I tell you? I said 60 to 72. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me some love. Come on. Bam. I'm just bragging. I usually am wrong. Lloyd, now Little Elm, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hi, Lloyd.
Oh, hi, sir. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
So I'm going to follow Brian Kilmeade. That's a tough ticket. But
yeah, listen, the bar is high, sir. The bar is high. Don't let me down.
Well, I'll keep it simple. Do you want me to give the history of who I am or just my opinion?
No, I just want you to go. Just unless it's like relevant, go.
Oh, okay. I'll keep it short. The verdict is almost irrelevant, because the talking points are set up either way. So, okay, if it comes back and he's guilty, he's going to get a slap on the wrist, and then that turns into like, look, it's not a rigged justice system, and try and pull some of the poll numbers away from Trump, right?
Yeah.
If he's not guilty, there's plenty of like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to do it anyway, and y'all are going to have to deal with it. And I ran information operations for 26 years in the military, so I know something about it.
I think it's going to help Trump if he's found innocent, which you and I both think he will be. I think, at least I do. So I think it's going to help Trump.
I agree.
Trump guilty, he's innocent. I mean, it's night and day. It's so blatantly obvious. Thanks for your great call. Keep calling in. I love your experience, Hank, and your call. In Harker Heights, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. You got 48 seconds. Go.
You got it. Thanks for taking my call, and it's another cooked court. You know, from the Hunter Biden to the Trump verdict. You know, it's the East Coast retribution. But what I want to say is that when we're looking at November, we'll look at character, and I'm saying that Trump is a philanderer, no doubt about it. But Biden is a liar. So when we get to that point of moral servitude, then we look at what has been done and what has been the tail of the tape from the standpoint that we had 4 years of Trump. And he did a hell of a job.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be hopefully a deciding factor. I got to roll, Hank, but thank you. I think Hunter will be found innocent. I think it's going to help Trump because it's blatantly obvious. Thank you for your great call. Next, are we going to be told that we're going to have tons of power outages this summer? Wait till you hear this from ERCOT breaking tonight. It's incredible and sickening news, to say the least.